From Taksim Square in Istanbul. It is election night and the results are in. It is an emphatic victory tonight for the Turkish opposition, and specifically Ekrem İmamoğlu, who has defeated former Turkish Prime Minister Binali Yildirim in the rerun election, the rerun of the Istanbul mayoral election. I'm currently coming to you live from Taksim Square. I was broadcasting, maybe still am, live in a bit of a makeshift studio, and that was going on for a while, and in fact it might still be going on. I'm having technical difficulties, and I'm going to try to keep this short, but just very briefly recap what happened today. I'm low on battery. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. But that aside, so 54% is the tally in favor of Ekrem İmamoğlu, Yildirim receiving 45% of the vote. That's with more than 99% of the votes counted, according to the Turkish state-run Anadolu news agency. There's already been a concession from Yildirim, and İmamoğlu is celebrating with supporters. I'm not there. I'm over now at Taksim with the new mosque in the background, as well as the Ataturk Memorial, which is probably much to the preference of the supporters. Maybe not all of them, but İmamoğlu is with the CHP, the CHP, the Republican Party, the main opposition party here in Turkey, and he has now defeated former Prime Minister and close Erdogan ally Binali Yildirim of the ruling Justice and Development Party. This is huge news in Turkey. The opposition has now taken control of Istanbul, the largest city in Turkey, and so it's said by many, including Erdogan in the past, that basically he who controls Istanbul controls Turkey. I'm going to try to keep this very short because of all the technical problems that I've said that I've been having. And anyway, I just want to throw in a couple little tidbits that I didn't cover in my election day broadcast today. One of which is that, as I have discussed in the past but not earlier today, there has been some rather noticeable economic problems in Turkey in recent years, and particularly over the past year. While I've not been here, while I've been out of the country, there was a recession late last year and into early this year, and there's been continuous devaluation of the lira. The lira has fallen to around 6 to the dollar. But that's one of a whole host of issues in this campaign. It seems like İmamoğlu was very cordial. His civility, I would say, won out over Erdogan and the AKP's demonization of him. The polarization that's been going on in Turkish politics did not seem to appeal to Turkish voters here in Istanbul today. Just taking things back, for those of you who haven't been following along, the election originally took place on March 31st. İmamoğlu won very, very narrowly, like by 0.2% over Yildirim. The results were annulled after Erdogan and the AKP challenged them, said there was fraud, and demanded a new election. But the new election has occurred, and the result is even more in the favor of İmamoğlu, even more in the favor of the Turkish opposition. They've won with a 9% differential between İmamoğlu and Yildirim. It's a resounding victory for the Turkish opposition. It's a resounding defeat for Erdogan. We'll see how he responds to it in days and weeks and months to come. As you can see, Taksim is pretty pretty calm. I unfortunately was not here a little earlier, but I think most of the GHP celebration is taking place elsewhere, and frankly, the GHP, from my initial impression, doesn't seem to celebrate quite to the extent that, or quite in the same manner as the AKP does. Anyway, I'm gonna have to wrap up this stream due to all the technical difficulties, but thank you very much for joining me in my election coverage today in Turkey. I'm still hoping to actually get the long live stream that I was doing earlier, in which we had detailed discussions about Turkish politics and this election. I'm still hoping that will go up. And yeah, I'm getting a couple comments in, but I gotta wrap this up now. Thank you very much for joining me. Teşekkürler to the Turkish audience, and güle güle from Istanbul's Taksim Square. But I'll let you know that I'll be sticking around Istanbul for at least some of the coming week, maybe beyond that. So thank you very much, and